So after test case execution, what is the next step? While
Hey,
execute,
hi, can you hear me?
yes, it's audible.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but are you just sharing anything or you're just giving, I mean, this is just you're giving an update because I'm unable to see anything if you're sharing.
I'm already sharing and I'm writing something in the notepad. Is it not
Okay, cool.
visible?
This is visible now. I mean, I was just looking at the Excel spreadsheet which was given, and I was just making sure I'm not missing out on anything.
Okay, so actually I'm just writing whatever I'm talking here. So the first step was test plan preparation and then test case design and then test case execution. So while executing the test cases, we are going to report any defect if we find any defects. So that is called defect reporting. And the last thing is about report preparation. So the proper report will be prepared and it will be shared with all the stakeholders. So I will come to that, Avinash. What is test case and how to prepare the test cases? That's what we are going to discuss in the upcoming days. So from including today. So this test plan in real time will be prepared by the test lead. Most of the times test lead will be preparing it. In the absence of test lead, either senior test engineer or maybe whoever is available in the team, he will take care of it or she will take care of it, whoever is available in the team. The second thing comes to test case design. So what is test case? How to prepare the test cases? Are there any techniques available to design the test cases? So that we are going to discuss here today. In real time, what is going to happen? BA will prepare the requirements or they will make it ready and they will say everything is done. So requirements. So requirements will be given by the BA. And once these requirements are done or ready, the documents will be shared with different stakeholders. So for BA, who is a stakeholder here? So design team, dev team, development team, and the testing team members. So what design team does? They will be creating a proper design. The architect will be involving here and they will be preparing a proper design and they will give each and every detailed information as part of design. Then the dev team and testing team both will be working parallelly and then they will be preparing, so development team will be preparing or developing the application by using some language or technology provided by or decided by the architect, and the testing team will be um, STLC stands for software testing lifecycle. Okay, so testing team will be preparing the test cases by reading those requirements. So one thing here you have to remember, most of the times while preparing the test cases, the development team, I mean the testing team doesn't see any kind of application. So just by reading the requirement, they will make or prepare the test cases here. Okay, so we are discussing about STLC, software testing lifecycle, and whatever the way we have 7 or 6 phases in SDLC, even as part of STLC, the following phases are there. So whenever the testing phase starts, what the testing team is going to do, they will prepare the test plan. That means they will plan for the testing and they will design the test cases, they will execute the test cases, and also they will be reporting the defects. And at the end, they will prepare the final report, and that report will be shared with all the stakeholders. In real time, the BA will be providing the requirements to all the teams whenever they are ready, and the testing team and development team will be working parallelly. So by the time the developer completes the development of the application, even the testing team will prepare their test cases. So what is test case now? What is test case? Test case is nothing but the approach to testing. Okay, so normally how to test a particular functionality that will be documented in the form of test case. So test case has a format like test case number, precondition, test steps or description, expected result, and actual result. So these are the different columns or sections you can see in any test case. And this is if you have any tool in real time, you will be having different tools to write the test cases also. The tools in the sense like quality center or maybe test complete. So if you have such kind of tools, you will be writing the test cases directly there itself. But sometimes you may have to write the test cases in the Excel sheet. So if your company doesn't have any kind of tools, then you will be writing the test cases in the Excel sheet itself. So that's the reason even here we have provided the Excel sheets to everyone. So you will be writing your test cases going forward in the sheets. So what is this precondition here? Precondition, what should be the test step? What should be the expected result? What should be the actual result? And then there is one more called status. So let's see what are they. It is not like always. So depends on the company content. So in real time, depends on the company. If they are able to spend more amount, then yeah, they will buy some tool and they will provide the access to you so that you can directly go ahead and work on it. If they are not able to buy the tool, then yes, definitely you have to use the Excel sheets and you have to prepare all these sections, whatever I have showed here. With this information, you have to create different columns and you should start writing the test cases there. Convert, I'll give it to you. So whenever I start using that, then I'll try to give it. So kindly wait, then we will discuss about it. And what else? So are we always given Excel sheet? Are we, what are the different test tools mostly used? So as part of test management, normally we will be using Quality Center. It is a very popular tool and it was developed by Mercury Interactive Corporation. It was acquired by HP and now it is a Micro Focus tool. And other than that, there are some other tools also available like Jira, Bugzilla, and Test Complete, etc. But these tools are not meant for everything. If it is a quality center tool, starting from planning to defect reporting, everything you can do in one place itself. So for everyone, it will be very easy to maintain and every information will be available in one place itself. But if you are going to use some other tools like Jira, Jira is a agile process management tool. This particular tool will be used just for documenting the requirements and reporting the defects. And also you can track the agile process. Other than that, Bugzilla. Bugzilla, the name itself is suggesting that it will be used for reporting the defects. So this particular tool will be used only for defect reporting. So depends on the company needs and project needs, they will buy some tool, but there will not be much difference in writing the test cases, whether it is a tool or Excel file. So the way the procedure will be similar. Okay. Okay. So columns in the sense these things here. So precondition, test steps, expected result, actual results, and status. So what are these sections? I will explain you in detail. So what is that, Kanchan? So which tool we need to use? Is that what your question here? Who has to decide which tool needs to be used? Yes, Sarika. So there is a possibility that, so Sarika has a question here. We write the test case in Excel and can we upload in QC to write? Yes, there is a possibility. If it is a quality center tool, you can write the test cases in Excel sheet, and by using some kind of plugin, you can upload them. So even that plugin will be provided by the quality center people itself. No. So Reshmi has a question here. Is testing 100% automated? So most of the times it is not possible. There are some areas where it is not possible to automate. So those areas should be done manually. Any other questions did I miss?
Uh, we are still looking at the notepad, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So while sharing the answers, can you please share the questions too? Definitely, Preeti. I will ask the questions. I mean, I'll explain the questions and then I will say the answers. Okay. So here, these are the different sections which we can see here. So mostly you should be able to see that. I don't know why it is not visible to you guys. So in the other classes, you were able to see the chat. Okay. So let me check. Is there any option I have missed? Um, Give me 1 second, please. No, there is no option here. Okay. So at present, maybe it depends on the tool also. It will be um, depending. So here I am not able to give you the access. So it is not showing any options here. So fine. So whenever someone asks, I will explain that question first and then I will clear your question. I mean, I will give you the answer also. So let's move further. So here, if you observe, so these are the different sections which you can see in any test case. So what are these sections about? So test case number is nothing but, so you will be giving any sequential number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is nothing much we can talk about it. The next one is about precondition. So precondition, what is that precondition means? Can anyone tell me what is precondition means in general English?
Um,
Yeah, please go ahead.
it's a present condition. Before the testing, the what is there in the system means like
Precondition, okay. Any condition, okay, there are so many answers here. So let me read them. So, so Preeti is saying some conditions which has to be met. Yes. So any condition that needs to be fulfilled in order to test something. Yes, Sana, you are right. So what action we have to perform before doing the other activity? So that is what we are going to mention as part of precondition before testing something. So what needs to be done? So that is what needs to be documented here. And the next one is about test steps. So to test a particular functionality, what are the different operations we should do? So that needs to be documented here as part of test steps. So each and every step needs to be documented. So I will
Can
show
you
you.
explain? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just giving a high level information. I will be explaining you with detailed example going forward. So I'm just giving a high level information. Test steps are nothing but, suppose if you want to do some activity, what are the steps you have to perform? I want to test a particular login functionality, or maybe I have to test the flight search functionality. So what steps needs to be done to perform the testing? So that steps information clearly one by one I will be documenting under test steps section. And the next section will be talking about expected result. So we'll do one thing, instead of everyone don't ping me in the chat window directly. After few minutes, after explaining some topic, I will ask you to ask all the questions in one shot. So at that time, if you can ask me, I will unmute everyone and I can answer your question so that everyone also can listen the same. So it will be difficult to answer for each and every question in the chat window by reading it. So I will give sufficient time to ask your questions. I hope that will be helpful. So the next one is about actual result. Okay, what is expected result? Expected means, okay, I am performing some action. I'm doing some testing. After performing that particular test, what should be the expected result? So if you don't have expected result, then without that you cannot say whether your test is passed or failed. So for definitely you need some expected result. From where we are going to get that expected result in real time? The expected result we will be receiving from the end user. So his requirements will be our expected results. So basically, as a tester, what we do here, as per the client requirements, whether the application is developed or not. So that is what we are going to validate as part of this expected result. And the next one is about actual result. So how to get it? How to get the actual result? So actual result we get after performing the testing in the application. So we open the application and we do the testing, and then whatever we get, the information there in the screen, that we will be documenting it. So precondition is nothing but what should be done before doing the actual testing activity. What should be available? That should be mentioned as part of precondition. Test steps means how to test that particular functionality, the detailed steps. Log into the application, click here, do that operation and perform this. After doing that, what we should get, that is called expected result. So expected result always we will capture directly from the application, sorry, requirement, and we will documenting it here. So expected result is nothing but the client expectation. As per the client expectation or the end user expectation, whether the application is developed or not. As a tester, that is our responsibility to check. And the next one is about actual result. Actual result will be documented once we perform the testing. So we have to open the application. Whatever the test steps are documented here, we have to follow those steps in the application and see what exactly you are getting after following those steps. So whatever is visible there, just copy that information and paste it here under actual result. And the last one is about status. So how to get the status? There are only two statuses are available. One is pass and the other one is fail. So how to get that pass or fail status? So to get the pass or fail status, you have to compare the expected result with the actual result. If both are matching, then you will pass it. If both are not matching, then you will fail it. Suppose I am expecting a logo in the top right. So that is my um, client expectation or the end user expectation. And actual result is like the logo is showing in the left side. Then there is a mismatch. So in this case, you have to fail that. Logo is visible, but it is visible in the wrong place, right? So in such cases, we will be failing the test case. Yes, now I will accept the questions. So everyone, whoever has question, one by one, kindly unmute from your side and ask me if you have any questions. No, I'm not writing anything. I'm just explaining whatever I have written here. Under test case, what are the different sections are there? What needs to be filled here? That's what I'm explaining. Yes, Raj, do you have any questions? Raj Lama.
Yeah, this is Kailash Mishra.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yes,
hello.
please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm able to
Can you
hear.
hear? Okay, okay. My question is, the status only you are putting F or P, or you also give some remarks.
No. So under status, either we will put fail or pass.
Okay, okay,
I'll show you with examples. Even you will be writing few test cases from today onwards, so that time it will be easy for you to understand.
okay. Thank you.
Ha.
Uh, Hi Aditya, this is Harni.
Yes.
So I have a question regarding the test steps. So as you mentioned, when we are writing something, when we are doing it in the Excel sheet, you have to write each and every point, right?
Yes.
So is it like, will it be in a theory format, or you can just write it in a shortcut form, or you have to display it in a exact way how you are doing it?
So the basic step should be like this. So when you give your test case to someone else in your testing team, or maybe someone else, so he should be able to execute the test case without asking any questions. So he should know what exactly he has to test after reading the test case. In such a way, the test case should be. So whether you write it in the shortcut format or you will write it in the detailed way, so that is your wish. But the other person should not get any confusion while executing it. So mostly it should be short and sweet. So you should not write big statements and all. So because sometimes what will happen in real time, you will be having 500, 600 test cases. To execute all those test cases, it will be taking lot of time. So to execute all those things, it will be very difficult. That's the reason you should write your test case in a simple format. We will see with
Okay, and
examples.
okay, and still it will be in a step-by-step manner. Is it like a
Yes,
step-by-step process?
yes. So for example, I was talking about I want to test whether the compose mail functionality is working fine in Gmail or not. So what are the steps we have to perform to get that, to test that? So open browser, load Gmail, enter credentials like username and password, and then click on compose button. So these are the step by steps, different steps which you have to perform to test that particular functionality.
Okay,
I'll show you an
so
example. Yeah.
Aditya, so test case number and test steps are both of them same, or will it be different? Test case number is just like a serial number, or will you provide the information over there too?
So test case number is just a number. That's it.
Excuse
About
me.
Okay,
Hello.
Uh,
1 second,
hi.
please.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Yes.
Aditya.
Actually, I am not into the class chat,
Uh-huh.
and I've been trying to figure it out that how to get into it. So I'm on and off, and I think I missed a couple of things meanwhile. So I'm trying to send the messages to you, but I think you didn't get my messages.
I'm
Can you please
able to
help me?
see I'm able to see some messages here. That's why I have given some time. So everyone can unmute from your side and you can ask me your questions now. So I will be answering. I'm not answering by seeing the chat now because there are huge number of messages are there. So it will be difficult to see each and everything. So kindly unmute from your side and ask your questions. So please do it one after another.
Okay,
Aditya,
no
I have
problem.
Aditya,
sorry.
do we need to write precondition in each and every step or just only once?
Depends. Sometimes for some scenarios it is not required, but in some situations definitely it is required. For example, so if I want to cancel a ticket in my flight application, so what is the precondition? What is the precondition to cancel a ticket? I have to test the ticket cancellation functionality, right? So how
Yes.
can I test it? What is the precondition to test that ticket cancellation functionality? So how can I cancel the ticket, whatever is there? Yes, Sana. So Sana is saying we should require a ticket first. Then only you can cancel it. So the precondition here is because you might be writing 5 to or maybe so many test cases. And it's not like every test case you will be executing in the sequence. So every tester will pick up few test cases and they will start executing it in real time. In such cases, what is going to happen suddenly if he gets a test case related to cancellation functionality, he doesn't know what should be done. So he will go and search for the something and he will not get any options there. So that's the reason you have to clearly mention the precondition that so ticket should be booked before canceling that flight. So precondition here is ticket should be booked before executing these steps. And as part of test steps, then you have to write the navigation. So go to log into the application, go to this section, you will see the book a ticket and then select it and cancel it. Those are the steps.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Hello, I had a question. Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah, my name is KK, and can you explain me the example once again for expected result and actual result?
Yes, I'll show you the example directly now. 2 more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions from others?
Yeah, Aditya.
Yeah, please.
Well, yeah, I missed like a couple of things today because I didn't get the link for the class. So I was just wondering, are you recording this session or like you
Yes,
just?
I'm recording the session. I'll share that video after the class, but it takes little time. The problem is that needs to be converted and then it needs to be uploaded. Then only I can share that. So it will take few hours time.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm just wondering you're recording this session or not. So
Yes, I am recording the session. I'll share that video with everyone.
yeah, all right, thank you.
Aditya, this is Harni again. So I have one more question. So you have told about the test case design that there will be positive and negative test cases. Could you please tell me about it?
Yeah, we'll come to that section. I'm just talking about only the life cycle part. Others kindly go on mute, whoever has done. So kindly go on mute so that we can avoid the background noise. Okay, so Harini, I will be explaining you the different design techniques and how to design those test cases by using these techniques with examples. So that time it will be easy for you to understand. So
Okay, and
yeah.
And one more thing I have. So there is a particular format for doing the test case, right? So like the testing steps will be different for each and everything. So if a tester is doing the testing, and I mean the design team or somebody else have given you the format for testing a particular case, but in case if you miss if you miss one of the step and still you get the result, so what is the situation, like what is the status you keep at that time?
No, I didn't understand your question. So why design
So
team will give the testing things? I didn't understand your question. Kindly explain one more
no
time.
Yeah, sure. So the requirement was given, and you have formed a test case, and there is a particular, like you have to test that case in a format like one after the other. So
Correct.
if you miss one part and still you got the result, if you miss one of, so your entire testing is done, but you made it in a different way. So is there any way that you can do it, or you have to do exactly in the same way?
So if you want to get some kind of expected results, normally some steps will be there. So maybe to get that result, there might be different ways also available. So maybe that could be one of the way. So in such cases, you will be writing 2 test cases for that to cover that particular functionality. If it is happening, if the result you are getting without following one more step, then that might be one other way of doing it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
In such cases, you will be writing 2 test cases. So in one test case, these are the steps you have to perform. In the other test case, you will be writing all the steps which are required to get that same result. So in that case, two
So
test cases will be there, definitely.
you can write n number of test cases for one testing.
So for one
Is that what you
requirement,
mean?
yes. So for one requirement, you have to write minimum one and maximum so many. That depends on the requirement.
Okay. Okay. I got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Aditya, if the status is failed, then what should be the next step?
So here in STLC you can see that. So if the status is failed, the next step is defect reporting. So why we are failing it? The actual development of the application is not matching with the expected result. That is the client requirement. So definitely you have to go ahead and report a defect saying that, so this particular functionality is not working as expected, so kindly fix it. So to whom we have to assign the defect in real time? Can anyone tell me?
Yeah,
Developers?
to developers.
Developers?
Because developers will be developing the application, so only to them we have to assign it. If it is related to any other problem, for example, sometimes the requirement itself is not clear. In such cases, you have to talk to the business analyst. So the testing team will be talking to the business analyst for clarification, and that is the business analyst's duty to give the proper information to the team members to continue with their testing activity. And what is the role of BA in testing team? So BAs also will be involving in testing activity sometimes, or I mean in some companies. So because once the the requirements are gathered, so they will not be having much work. So that's the reason the management will be requesting them to work in the testing team, because they knew all the functionalities, and they have prepared the test cases. So then it will be easy for them to test the functionality without any problems. And also other responsibility, everyone kindly go on mute. So other responsibility of the business analyst is, so during the testing activity, during the development activity, if the team members have any kind of questions, the BA should answer those questions. If the BA also doesn't have any answers, then BA will be contacting the end users or the concerned person, and then they should get it. After gathering that information, they should not directly or orally, they should give the information to the team members. First, they should update the requirement document, and that document should be shared with the team members one more time. So that's how it should happen. Otherwise, if you communicate something orally, so later it will create a lot of issues. So always that new information should be documented there. Yes. Any other questions?
A question.
If I understanding correctly, the software testing lifecycle is a part of software development lifecycle,
Yes.
and QA is mainly responsible for STLC, and sometimes BA does that too, right?
Correct. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Okay, so when we were talking about defect reporting, I was a little confused about what's the level of reporting that we're going to do. Because in my understanding, I thought we're going to be reporting to all the stakeholders, so design, development, testing, all of them, and probably include BA too. So what are the points where we're just going to do the design team, and like how do you differentiate that?
So who is going to develop the application in real time in the company?
Development team.
Developers.
Yeah.
So if there is any defect, then you have to always report to the developer so that he can fix it. Yes, in some situations, maybe critical situations, you may have to give some information to the stakeholders as well if it is in production. But if it is under development, production in the sense the application is already completely developed and it is already delivered to the end users already working on it. So that time, if the testing team identifies a critical defect which is going to block so many functionalities, that time you may have to share that information with all the people, but the developers are going to fix that problem.
Okay, all right, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
After fixing the bug, do we need to test it again, or can we directly go to the release?
No, definitely you have to test. So that is called retesting means. So whenever you report any defect to the developer, after fixing it, he will update the defect status as fixed, and the defect will come back to the testing team. Testing team has to retest that defect, and then we have to say whether it is fixed correctly or not. If it is fixed, we will close it. If it is not fixed, we have to reopen the defect one more time and we have to assign it back to the development team again. That is the process.
Thank you.
Aditya,
Huh.
once the developer, so as the test was failed, so they go back to they go back to the developer, so they do it again. So do they have to send any report or anything so that they have made some changes for it?
Who, developer?
Yeah.
No, developer doesn't inform anything to anyone.
Okay. He or she just changes it and then they send it directly to the testing team.
Yes, so they will just, so normally even the defect we will be reporting in the Excel sheet, and that Excel sheet will be in the shared location. So whenever he fix something, immediately he will go and update status. So he will say, this is fixed, this is not fixed, something like that. So if it is in fixed status, again we take that defect and we will retest it. Otherwise, we'll just leave it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Hi, Aditya.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I have a quick question for you. Look, in the defect reporting, how much BA is involved in that?
If BA is involving in testing activity and the BA finds a defect, then the PA itself will be reporting it to the developer.
Correct. So my suggestion is that, like each time the defective reporting, what is being done to the developers, a copy is always sent to the BA so that the BA is also aware what's going on.
So regarding the defect?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So these defect documents are, if you are using a tool, it's a central location. Anyone can go ahead and see what is there, how many defects are there, and how many test cases are written, and which defects are fixed by the developers, which are not fixed by the developers. So everything information will be there in the tool or in the Excel sheet. So anytime you can go ahead and see. So there will not be direct communication. They will not say these many defects are there on daily basis. So it will be there in that application. You can go ahead and see at any point of time if you want.
How about the manual testing? Some of the locations we do manual testing. Yeah.
No, I didn't understand your question. Could you please?
Yeah, see, when you have a tool, definitely it is centralized. So BA has an access to that, and every step he is able to follow what's going on. But when there is, in the absence of tools and when there is a manual testing, so how BA is having a control?
So why BA should have the control?
Yeah, control in the sense, how the testing is going on and all. As a smart BA, I mean a smart business analyst, if he is getting involved also in the testing phases and all, it is easy for the system development, I guess.
No, I didn't understand. So BA.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You move forward.
Yeah. So normally BA.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, BAs will be providing the requirements, and based on that, the testing team writes the test cases and they will be executing it. If BA in some companies, as I told, even BAs will be involving in the testing. So that time they will also come and write the test cases and they will also execute it. And yeah, so that's how it is going to be. So anyways, we will start with one test case and we'll see if you have any more questions.
I have one question.
Yes.
My question is, who determines how many test cases are going to be there?
No one will determine. Depends on the requirement. The number of test cases will vary. So no one can decide how many test cases you are going to write.
Okay. So based on the requirements, the testing team is going to make the test cases.
Correct. Yes.
And one more question. I didn't understand the fact that you said the development process and the testing process are parallel. So unless the development process has ended, how can testing process start? I did not understand that.
So there are different models are there at present in the market, like waterfall model, V model, agile model, etc. So if you take waterfall model, once the complete development is done, then only the testing activity will start. So by the time the complete development is done for the application, the testing team also will be parallelly working on test case design, and then they start the testing activity. Okay, but if you take agile model, agile process. So there what will happen, the development team picks only few requirements, 10 requirements, say out of 100 they pick only 10, and they will be developing it. So by the time each requirement is developed, the testing team also will be preparing the test cases. Whenever each requirement is developed, immediately it will be tested. So because they will be having very short duration there as part of sprint. So that will be called as sprint. Normally it will be 2 weeks time. Whatever the requirements they have selected within that sprint duration, it should be developed and it should be tested. But
So they're both kind of doing their work based on the requirements.
everywhere that should be the case. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
So I
Hello.
think once we see
Yeah.
the examples, we'll have real questions. Yes, Preeti, I'll show. Yeah, definitely.
Hello. Yeah, my question is I wanted to know the example of status comparison between expected result and actual result.
Yes, I'm going to show you that now. Okay. Yeah. So let's start with the simple example. Then I guess most of the questions related to test case will be solved. And then if you have any questions, again, you can ask me one more time. So I'll start with the calculator example because everyone knew about this functionality, and it will be easy for you guys to understand. Then I'll also give one small assignment after explaining about this test case. So can anyone tell me what are the different functionalities are there in this calculator application?
It can measure percentages,
What are the too many, Tara?
fractions. Huh?
No, who is that? Sana, who is speaking?
Karina.
Karina. Yes, Karina, tell me.
Fractions,
Mm-hmm.
percentages,
Mm-hmm.
to the power of,
Mm-hmm.
simple addition, subtraction, division, multiplications.
Correct. So we have different functionalities are available here like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentage, clear, backspace. So whatever are the buttons are available here, for every button there is some functionality associated with it. Now I want to test the addition functionality is working correctly or not. So how to write that? How to write a test case for this particular scenario? So let me show. Okay, test case ID, I am giving it as 1. To test the addition functionality, what is the precondition?
Need to have like
10 on
it's
the 10 on the calculator.
Yeah. So here, as I told before, every time you need not to write the precondition. So it depends on the test case. If you have to write it. I mean, depends on the requirement. Everyone kindly go on mute so that we can avoid the background noise. Thank you. But here, for to understand what is precondition, I'll try to write the precondition for all the requirements. But sometimes it is explicit that everyone can understand when it can be tested. So in such cases, you need not to separately write the precondition. Okay. So what I am going to do here, I will be writing the precondition. Okay, for this particular calculator, to test the addition functionality in calculator, the precondition should be the calculator should be installed in your system and it should be up and running. So we know that to test the addition functionality it is required. This is just for an example. But in real time, wherever it is really required, if you can write there, then it will be more useful. Unnecessarily, as you have one section, you need not to write there. So previously I was talking about the cancellation functionality. So in such cases, yes, maybe if the person new to that application who doesn't know anything, he will directly go and try to cancel the ticket. But he doesn't know that something should be booked before cancellation. So I'm very new to the flight reservation functionality. Then at that time it will be useful. If these kind of things, for example, calculator, So this calculator will be used by even small kids, right? So in these cases, it's okay, even if you not if you don't mention also. So you have to think whether it is really required or not. If it is really required, just put that precondition. As of now, I'll just show how it is going to be written. So calculator application should be up and running. Then only I can test that functionality. Now, to test the addition functionality, what are the steps we have to perform here? Okay, so the steps will be, I will write a generic test case here. I can say specific to some numbers. So click on 5 button. So if you directly click on plus button, will you get the result? So click on plus button, and step 3, click on 7 button, and 4, click on equal to button. So these are the steps you have to perform to test that particular addition functionality. So here, after performing these steps, what is the expected result?
It
What
should
is
display 12.
12. It should be 12.
Yes. So the result should be 12. So in real time, in the requirement document itself, the business analyst will be providing. So whenever this addition operation is done, so this is going to be the expected result. So that expected result directly we can take it from there, and you can write as it is related to a specific number. The expected result may vary, but if it is a generic thing, for example, login functionality. So user should be able to log into the application with correct credentials. After logging to the application, he should be able to see the main page. So there it is a concrete expected result. Directly you can copy and paste that information there. We'll see that also. Now, what is the expected result? The result, you should not just put the information like 12. That doesn't help. So you have to write in the descriptive format. So the result should be displayed as 12. Maybe where exactly it is going to show, it should display that also. If you can write, that will be more clear. So the result should be displayed as 12 in the result area, or maybe some panel, something like that. Now, what is the actual result?
12. 12.
How do you know it's 12?
It's an addition.
But how do you say that? To get the actual result,
The result displayed as 12.
So you have to perform these steps by opening the application. So you have to open the calculator, and then you have to perform these steps. So click on 5 button, click on plus, click on 7, and click on equal to. So now here it is showing the result as 12. So you cannot decide without doing any testing. So you might have used that calculator before, but this software, how it is working, that you have to you have to test it by opening the application. So everyone knew that 12 is going to come, but here, whether it is this calculator is also giving the same result or not, that we have to test. So now, yes, it is showing the result as 12. So write that the result is showing as 12. Good. So what should be the status now? Is it pass or is it
Pass. Pass.
why it is pass?
Expected
Because
result is equal to actual result.
Is the status pass is correct, or do we need to fail this?
No, it's pass.
Pass is correct.
Definitely, because as someone said, actual result is matching with the expected result. So we have to update the status as passed. Okay. No, we are not. So here the tickets are nothing is there. So it is just a test case.
So, hello?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens if actual results does not meet the expected results?
Then you
So
will
does it go
be.
back report defecting?
Yes.
Defecting process?
Yes, you're right. So whenever
Oh.
it is not matching with the expected result, then immediately
Hmm?
you will be reporting a defect to the developer. So developer will be fixing it.
So, okay. So developers will try to contact the BAs too, and will it be the documented again?
No, why he will contact BA again? If he has any clarification, only at
Mm-hmm.
that time the developers and testers will be contacting the team members. I mean the developers. Otherwise, they don't talk to the BAs every time. So already
Okay. You mean
everything is already documented in the requirement document. So as per that,
sure.
the testing team is testing it. So why again they have to contact? If something is not clear, yes, definitely the testing team or development team should contact the BA team, and then they should get the information. So whenever the BAs gives the information, even they should document that information somewhere. So most of the times you should avoid the oral communication in real time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Aditya, I have one question.
Hi, I just have a question. So from this premise, we are operating on the fact that the expected results are known pretty much, and we are just trying to make sure that the test proves that they are the known results, right? We are not working in ambiguity.
No, no. So there will not be, while writing the test cases and while doing the testing activity, there will not be any kind of assumptions. Assumptions doesn't work. So if the testing team should not work on the application with assumptions. So everyone, please remember that. If something is not clear, the testing team members should go and talk to the business analyst, and business analyst should document that information in the requirement document. Then only they should take it and they should take it forward. Otherwise, they should not take any decision on their own to test any functionality. Even a small dot is missing. So in the requirement document, there is a dot and the developer forgot to put the dot. The testing team will go ahead and fail the test case. Another example. So maybe the BA has given a message and developer has put some other message which is giving the same meaning. No, fail the test case. Because whatever is documented, same thing should be there. Then only the tester will accept it. Otherwise, he will not. Yeah,
No, but
someone.
like, sorry, so the 12 is the result that we are looking for, but 12 can come in so many different formats. It can be 10 plus 2, 11 plus 1. It is the options to get the same result is different, right? So who then decides that as long as we get the result 12, it can be achieved through 10 plus 2 instead of doing 5 plus 7?
Yes, you're right. So here, this is related to calculator. So you'll have so many options. I'm just showing an example how we can write
Okay.
it because everyone knew about this functionality. So that's the reason I started with it. But if you take the any other application, for example, take Gmail login page. So as a user, the requirement says like this. So as a user, I should be able to log in with the correct credentials. And after logging to the application, I should be able to see the Gmail main page or a compose button. So do you get so many options there? It is a concrete requirement. So here the step should be enter correct username. So something like that. So it depends on the functionality. Here you will get so many combinations. That's for sure. So normally in that
Okay.
case also you will, if you want to test those things, you can write multiple test cases. But here that is not feasible. So many combinations you will get.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Aditya, can
Yes.
they write these test steps in one sentence? Click on 5 plus 7 and equal button or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, you can write it. But I'm just showing like, so here it is related to calculator. But if it is related to the sign-in functionality, so is it possible for you to write? Okay, you can enter username and password and click on sign button. You can also write, but I'm trying to give you an example how it will be more clear while executing. So that's
Okay.
the only reason. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there is
Aditya,
no hard rule that you have to follow only this way. So until someone is able to understand whatever you have written, that is sufficient. Yeah. Yes, please. Someone has.
Aditya,
Yeah.
I'm having a question regarding the precondition.
Hmm.
So you have written that calculator application should be up and running.
Hmm.
So how do you write a precondition?
Okay. So precondition is nothing but what should be done before doing the actual testing activity. Suppose I want to test a mixie jar, just normal mixie. So what is the precondition to test a mixie jar? Whether it is working or not, that I have to test. What is the precondition?
How to plug in?
Hmm.
And switch it on and check whether it is running or not.
Yes, that is the precondition. So you might be knowing
So
how to test that. So that's the reason you are mentioning that information. Someone who doesn't know anything about mixer, then he will try to do something on without connecting to the power. So that's the reason we are clearly saying that. So if you want to test this, so this is the precondition. First, the mixie should be connected to the power and the power switch should be on. That's what we are saying here.
is there any way that you can write the precondition from requirements, just copy and paste it like that, or you have to write it in your own way?
Most of the times your requirement will give that information also. So uh, you should understand the complete functionality of the application by reading those requirements and then you should write it. So sometimes the requirement says in the high level that this is how it should work, but in the application the flow will be different, the navigation steps and all those things will be different. So that's the reason you have to write this precondition in the detailed way sometimes.
Okay, what if you have written it a bit wrong, which is not understandable, but you have written the test steps perfectly and the expected result and everything remaining was perfect, and coming to the precondition you have written a bit wrong, like in the way, so you didn't write it in a proper way.
Hmm.
So will that cause any effect for the testing?
Okay, suppose I have written it in the wrong way and I have given the test case to you. What you will do?
I mean, but you will definitely give me the test steps and everything, right?
No, even so, I mean, without if the precondition is wrong, you may not be able to perform the test steps also. So what you will do?
Okay.
Suppose just assume that I have written the precondition wrongly and I have given the proper steps and I have asked you to or requested you to execute those test cases. What do you do?
I'll
What
go back to the BA person and ask for the requirements.
first you will come back and ask me what is this? It is
Okay.
not working as expected. Then I will say I will check it. If I am able to make it out, then yeah, I will answer that. Okay, I have written precondition wrongly. I'll update it. Otherwise, you will go to the business analyst and you will ask. So whether it is
So
correct or
I
not.
have,
Yeah.
sorry for asking this. So what does you represent here? Is it like a testing lead or what is it exactly?
So, I mean, I'm also a team member. I can also be a team member. So anyone.
So
So
you can just go ahead and ask the team member for the precondition.
no, what I'm saying is, so the test case can be written by anyone. Maybe the person who is writing, he does not have complete idea. So that's the reason he might have written wrongly. So whenever you are executing some other test case, you should go and talk to that person and then you can take a decision whether it is correct or not.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, if expected the result is not matching with the actual result, it will go to defective reporting.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
One more question. Do we need to get approval from your test lead to go ahead for the testing after writing the test cases?
So normally after writing the test cases, there will be a peer review. So not only in the testing department, it will be there in all the departments. So even in design team, development team, and the BA team. So whenever someone written some test cases, the other team member will be reviewing those test cases and he will be providing his comments and he will be documenting those comments as well. So yeah, definitely the review part will be there and they have to give the comments and based on that, this guy will update the test cases. So most of the times it will be taken care by the test lead who has good knowledge in the application. Otherwise, sometimes there are so many testing team members will be there. One person cannot review everything. In such cases, yeah, so all the team members will be involving in review activity as well.
Okay.
Test case, is this test case is an official document?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, to ask the same question, like kind of variation of the same question. So these steps in STLC, so first is test plan, second is test case design, and third is execution. They are all done by the testing department.
Yes.
You said development and BA is involved, and I understand how, but development more in defect reporting, and then BA in all steps.
Mm-hmm.
But the case design and the execution, are these mainly the testing team?
Yes.
So who does the design and who does the execution? Is there a discrimination within the team then? I mean, not a discrimination, but a distinction between amongst the team?
No, all the testers will be involving in all the activities.
Okay. And one more thing, the test plan, you didn't go ahead and explain that, right? Because there was a power cut in my house and I lost connection for like, 2 minutes.
I have just given small information about it and then I moved to test case design. So normally it will be taken care by the test lead in real time. So he will be explaining or he will be documenting information like what needs to be tested, how to be tested, and when to be tested and who is going to test. So that information will be documented under test plan so that every team member will aware so the schedule and the scope of the testing activity. So that is the only reason it will be required.
And what is this real time? You said that I
real
missed
time
that
means
too.
in the project. So in the
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So now I will give you a small assignment. Everyone, you should write it now. So the requirement says that. Okay, let me open this paint window. So just assume that this is for Gmail application. So in Gmail application, you have username field, password field, and you have sign in button available. And the requirement says that as a user, I should be able to log in with correct credentials. That is the requirement. So here, this is the username field and this is the password field and this is the sign in button. So everyone kindly go to your sheets and write the test case for this particular functionality, login functionality. The requirement I'm repeating one more time. As a user, I should be able to log into the application with correct credentials. So try to use the same format, whatever I have written, and then write it. So convert, I will give you the access now. So just try. Later, you can ask me if you have any questions. Just try on your own first.
Aditya, could you please repeat the requirement one more time?
So requirement is simple. I should be able to log into the application with my correct credentials. So that's what BA has given me in the document.
Aditya, how about my screen?
So who is this?
This is Kailash Mishra.
What happened?
Where is my? I'm not getting my screen.
So don't you have? I mean, Nandu might have already shared one Excel sheet. So did you get that?
I got that, but that's in my Gmail.
You have to open that.
So I have to go to Gmail. Then I'll have to exit here and go to the Gmail.
No, you can open in the other window, other browser.
Other browser. How do I get onto that?
So this one you might have opened in one browser, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So convert, I'm trying to give the access to you now. Yes. So I have sent a mail. Just check your email ID.
I have a question. I got in late because I mixed up the time. I thought it was 8 o'clock, but I should have been here at 7, so I was a little bit late. So do I still do it or just see what they're doing and then
If it is clear,
catch
please,
up?
yeah, I mean, if it is clear, you start writing it. Otherwise, just observe. I will be sharing this video after the class, so you can watch it and you
Oh,
can catch
okay.
it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Yep.
So here should we also write the actual result and the pass and the fail step,
Yeah.
or no?
Yes. Just try
Okay.
with all the information. So please remember, under your test steps, you should someone is writing in Nandu sheet, so kindly access your sheet and write it. So don't write it in Nandu sheet. So go to your sheet and write it. So please remember, under test steps, it should contain the detailed information to approach that particular testing activity. So basically, to get the expected result, what kind of action we have to do. So that also will be mentioned. For example, um, the action in the sense, click on submit or click on sign in button, click on save button. So these are the operations to get the expected result. So please make sure that that is also there in your test step. So I don't know, someone is still writing in Nando sheet. So kindly go to your sheet and write it. So don't use Nando's sheet. So there are so many other sheets available with your names. Kindly use those sheets. In the bottom side, you can copy, I mean, whoever has already written, copy and paste that into your sheet again.
Hi Aditya, this is Divya, and I already wrote in Nandu Sid, but I didn't find my name.
May I know? Sorry, could you please
My
repeat?
name is Divya.
Divya.
Yeah.
Yeah, next to
Aditya,
Nando sheet it is available. So Divya, here you can see. Just next to Nando sheet, your name is also available. Just refresh the
Aditya,
screen once and you will be able to see it. Yeah, please.
Aditya, this is Harni. I have a problem here. Like I'm so in text step, test step, I'm trying to write it over the points, but it is not allowing me to write it in a point way. So it is taking me to the next block. What should I do for that?
Okay, so if you want to write it in the second cell, I mean in the same cell in second line. So everyone,
Yeah.
please use Alt plus Enter key together. So if you use Alt plus
Okay.
Enter key at the end of the line, it will take you to the next line in the same cell.
Okay, thank you, Aditya.
Yeah. So going forward, we will see a lot of examples related to this test case design. Divya, are you able to find out?
No.
So there is, I mean, just close that sheet and reopen once again, maybe it will come. So in the bottom side, next to Nandu sheet, your name is available. So kindly check it.
So your requirement was that a Gmail ID should be created or the inbox should be opened?
Inbox should be open.
Okay.
So as a user, I want to log into the application with correct credentials.
Okay.
So that is my requirement.
Aditya, Vijay here. My sheet is not working. Can you give the access, please?
No, Nandu might have already given the access. So what's your name? Kindly repeat. Vijay.
Vijay, VIJI.
Okay, but so in which sheet it is?
It's come in the name of Color Sparrow at Gmail.
Okay. So just close that sheet and reopen once again and check. So
Okay.
if you receive any mail, that means that you have an access.
Can you help me with on the test step? Go to the next line. I mean the next bullet.
Alt plus enter key. So click on Alt button and press the enter key together.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Yes, mine is completed. So do I need to click on save?
No, not required. It's auto save. So automatically it will be saved.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Mine is done also.
Yeah, I'll show. I mean, I'll review it. So let others
thank
also
you.
write it. Then we'll see.
Okay.
Ravan, you also try to write it in different lines. So for example, enter user ID, enter password, and click on sign in button or submit button, something like that. So instead of writing everything in one line, just for practice. So whatever you have written, I'm not saying it's wrong, but just for practice purpose. Name and password should be is a mandatory field, all input fields. So Avinash, we are not talking about like whether it is a mandatory field or not. So you should directly enter the steps to get the expected result. So just think about it one more time. To Gmail browser, type user ID, type password, click on sign in button. Okay, inbox. So in KK, I don't know what's your full name. So here in expected result, what exactly you are expecting that should be written. So it's
okay.
Your expected result is looking like an actual result. So inbox should be open. So that's how you should write it. Vijay, still you are not able to access your sheet?
Yeah, I'm not able to act.
So did you reopen the sheet?
Yeah, I did.
So can you give me your email ID here? Ping me your email ID.
Colorsparrow@gmail.com. KER.
I'm done. I'm done.
Could you please ping me your email ID, please?
Sure.
Yep.
I'm done as well.
Yes, I'm just going through all the sheets here. So if something is required, I'll let you guys know. So click username field and write the username.
I'm also done.
I'm also done.
Yes. So I'm going through the sheets. So Kanaina, I don't know how to pronounce his name. So here, click on username field and write username. Okay. So your inbox screen should appear. Your inbox screen has appeared. Fine. So Kanchan, open home page with URL. Enter valid username and enter valid password and click enter. Okay. So instead of you can write it like click on submit button or sign in button. So normally in every sign in page you will have sign in button. So enter username, enter valid password and click on sign in button. Those are your steps. So account open, system flashes welcome message. Okay, these are good. So Sana, what is this click on user tab?
It was, since there are three different tabs: username, password, and sign in. That's why.
Okay. So you need not to write that. So directly you can enter,
Okay.
like, to make it short, enter username, a valid username in the username field. Enter password in the password field. So that is sufficient.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hello?
yeah.
Aditya, I updated mine.
Yeah, I'm going through all the sheets. In few minutes I will reach your sheet. If I'm not, if I,
Okay.
yeah. So Viji, I'm sending you a mail one more time. Please check it.
All right, I'm done as well.
Sure. So Reshmi, I'm in your sheet now. So you have written everything in different cells. So kindly write everything in one cell itself. So for example, enter correct username, enter correct password, click on sign in button. These three steps belonging to only one test case. So you should be writing everything here itself.
Aditya, I'm even done.
Yes. Okay. So Reshmi, did you get it?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm correcting.
Sure. Sarika, open gmail.com sign up page in browser. Enter valid username. Yes, this is good. User should be able to log into the account and see the Gmail account page. Fine. So here I have just given a requirement orally, but in real time, the proper expected result also will be documented in the requirement. So you can directly take it and you can put it here as part of expected result. Okay, let me go to sheet 2 now. So Nemu, and okay, you are still writing. Inca. So Inca, are you there in the class? Okay, I don't know. So Vimisha, so username and password should be existing and press login button. Enter the existing username and so no, my requirement was so log into the application. So as a user, I should be able to log into the application with correct credentials. So to test that, what steps are required? That should be documented here. So enter correct username, enter correct password. Okay, username and password should not be existing and press the login button. So you are directly trying to write the negative scenario. That is also fine. Yeah, but try to write it in the steps. That will be more clear. Ricky, are you there in the session today? Okay. Trupti, are you there? I don't know.
Yes, I am.
So I'm not able to see any test case here, test steps.
I did write it down. I
So,
clicked on the link that was on my
so
Gmail.
just check where you are writing it. So you might be writing in some other sheets. So
On the pre-credentials box, as soon as I take my cursor, my name pops up in a top right corner. So I don't know, am I on the right page?
So here I'm not able to see anything in your sheet. I don't know. Yeah, please recheck it one more time and then at the end I'll come back to sheet. So Preeti, click on login.
Yep.
So what is this? Click on login directly. So the steps.
No, that's the third step.
Huh.
So first one is open the web browser, enter the Gmail link. So I
But
wasn't sure that
that is the
click on
precondition.
login.
I mean here.
So I have entered the same step in test step as well. So I wasn't sure about this particular
Precondition means
thing.
to perform the actual testing what needs to be done. So you have to just
Okay.
open the Gmail application in a browser.
Okay.
That is the precondition.
Okay.
Test
So the
steps,
first two would be right, correct?
enter Gmail link. You need not to click on login. And here also in test steps also directly you are clicking on login. So without entering username and password, if you click on login, what is going to happen? It will throw you error
No.
message.
Oh, okay. I got confused with the Yahoo page. Actually, when you open the Yahoo page on the right hand side corner, it says
No, that's why I have
sign
given
in,
the clear
login.
requirement here. So in here, I have explained clearly about my requirement.
Okay.
So every application will have their own requirement. So we should not follow the others.
Okay.
So as per the
That's a mistake.
requirement, so we have to write it here. The requirement says we have username field and password field and sign in buttons are there. So as a user, whenever I enter the correct username and password in these two fields, I should be able to see the main page. That's the requirement.
Okay.
So kindly update your test cases.
I'm Rashmi. Can you please check my sheet?
Yes, I'm coming to the
correct.
sequence. So let me open the browser. So who is this? Upama? So I'm seeing only one step here. That is username and password. So it should contain the detailed information. So what action you have to perform to get the expected result that should be there. So the actions are like enter correct username, enter correct password, and click on sign in button. These are the three actions you have to perform on that particular page to get the expected result. So kindly update that. So Prad, so I don't know your full name. So here it is documented as Prad.
Yeah, hi, this is Pradnya.
Pradnya. So did you write the test case? I'm not able to see anything here.
What?
So I'm not able to see your test case. Where did you write?
I've written it on the sheet. I'm not sure now.
I don't
And
know in which sheet you have written, but in your sheet that information is not available. Can you please check whether you have written in your sheet only?
yeah, I've written it against Pradnya itself.
No, but here it is not visible.
And it's showing on the screen when you clicked on my name, that information popped up.
Oh, to enter the login name. Oh, okay. So here itself you have
Okay.
written. Okay, got it. Sorry. So to enter the
Oh, you
login
mean
name.
I should have written in the, okay.
Okay. So actually, Nandu has given some instructions in that section, so I didn't observe that. Fine. So
okay.
So here you need not to mention to enter the login name, to enter the password. Directly enter the login name in the login name. I mean username in the username field. Enter the password. Then click on sign button. What is this to? Why did you write to here? To enter the login name or something. So step should
Yeah,
start.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to be okay.
Enter the login name, enter the password, and then click on sign in button. So step 3, press the sign in or submit button. And here expect a result. So user should be able to access the inbox. And the actual result, whatever you are getting, that you should write here. Okay. So Momi, click on the password field, enter the valid password. So again, you need not to we need not to write in that detailed way. So you can directly write it like enter correct username, enter correct password, click on sign in button. So with 3 steps we can complete. And another thing, mommy, you have written each step in different rows. So try to write everything in one cell itself. And also, so try to write the precondition here. That will be useful. So yes, you might be knowing that yeah, without opening the application, you cannot enter the username and password, but just for practice purpose, try to write something here as part of precondition. So
Aditya, are you able to hear me?
yes, now I'm able to. Tell me please.
Yeah, could you come back to my page, please?
Yes.
Yeah, what I was asking is, like in the case of username, there are certain precondition. What I would think about is, like, can precondition be like it takes only alphabet, or it is alphanumeric, or it takes only numeric for certain, I mean, different website, different softwares.
Correct.
So
So if
can
requirement
that be
says
one of the
that,
precondition?
no. So that it will be your step. If it is documented in the requirement saying that your username will accept only alphabets and numerics, then that should be one of your step.
Okay.
But here I am just saying that so I should be able to log in with correct credentials. I didn't say what characters you have to use, what kind of data you have to enter inside it. So that information also normally will be documented in the requirement document. This is just to give an idea. That's it. So going
Okay,
forward, we'll
and
see that
there is
kind of scenarios
another
also.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, there is another thing that, like there are certain websites which tells you if something is incorrect after you complete it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain website which tells you in every letter or every number that you enter if it is going wrong or if it is going correct.
Correct.
They call it something, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
So even those things are involved. So if they are there in the requirement document, only then we go for a detailed stuff like that.
So yes, if the requirement says that whenever user enters some wrong information, so the validation message should be visible. Then you have to write one test case
Okay.
for that to validate that information.
Okay, here Aditya, the mistake that I made was I came down to 3 rows,
Yeah.
right? And I wrote all this that I was supposed to write it in one test step.
Correct.
But what happens about the conditions that I told you right now? If
So
they have mentioned that it has to be alphanumeric, or every letter and every number has to be checked one by one. So in that case, like
we will
I
be writing
mean,
a separate test case, but in the same way, in one single cell itself. That is also related to one single test case. So all these steps, 3 steps belongs to only one single test case.
okay, so this is one single test case. That will be another test case.
Correct.
Where I'm checking if it is and if it is taking number, or if it is alphanumeric or whatever.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah. I think my question is also the same. Actually, first I wrote in 3 different steps. It explained all of the details, just like then if you enter the password, it should be invisible or encrypted. Okay, then do we need to write it's based on only on the requirement, what you want from the system, or?
Yes. So maybe different applications will have different kinds of requirements. So we should not follow that information. So whatever your requirement document says, only that you have to follow accordingly your test cases. So you should not assume anything. That's the first thing everyone has to remember here in this group. So there will not be any kind of assumption. Maybe the requirement itself is wrong. In such cases, you should go and talk to the business analyst, but you should not think anything on your own. So that website has this kind of functionality. So why it is not there? That is not our duty. So whatever the BA says or the end user says, that's what we have to test here. So
can you check my page?
Yes, I'm coming in the sequence. So give me 2
I
moments.
have a
Please.
question.
Yeah. So let me complete the review, then I will
Okay.
answer all the questions. So Prasani, so I'm in your sheet, enter valid user name. enter valid password, click on sign button, and should be able. So here you have written the expected result also. So this fourth line should be here as part of expected result. So the same thing you should not write in both the places. So login with correct credentials into Gmail account. So here you can see the same thing you have repeated under test steps and expected result. So just update that information. Harini, go to internet browser, open Gmail, click on username and enter the email. Once you give the email ID, you should navigate to the password. So click on password. So from where did you get this information? Already you have enter. Once you give the email ID, it should navigate to the next page. So no. So I guess you have directly opened the gmail.com and then you are testing it. So that's the reason I clearly draw a picture here. So here you have a username field and you have a password field and you have a sign in button. So once you enter this information, I am expecting the Gmail, I mean some page. Actually, I would have not mentioned about Gmail. So I guess you have directly opened the gmail.com page and you have written it. But yeah, so and also this much detailed information is not required. It is difficult to read also. It should be sweet and short. So enter username and click on next step, enter password, click on sign in button, something like that. Got it, Harini?
Yeah, Aditya.
Okay. So now I'm in first sheet.
Aditya, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, I am in number 1. Divya.
Yes, I'm coming to that. So that is the last sheet which is left. So after at the end, if I didn't cover anything, then please raise your voice so that I can go to that sheet and I'll explain. So Divya,
Yeah, can you check my page? AK.
1 second, please.
Hey, this is Sonia. I don't know whether you see my page, but how do you write more than one sentence in a box? Because if I want to write the second sentence, it takes me to another box.
Okay, so that's what you have to use Alt plus Enter key to write it in the second line in the same cell.
Okay, Alt plus Enter key.
Yes. Alt plus Enter key. You have to use to write it in the same other cell. So Divya, I am in your sheet. Enter valid username, enter valid password. System should enter Gmail, or you can write it like the inbox should be accessible. That is your expected result, and actual result is okay. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, my page is left. KK.
I guess your name is in some other sheet. Okay.
It's in February 3rd.
Yes. So go to Gmail browser, type username, type password, click on sign button. Inbox should be opened. Inbox is open, so you have passed it. Yes. This is good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Davani, what is this? Should enter valid email ID. So this should is not required here. Directly you can enter. You can start from here. Enter valid email ID. Enter valid password. And enter submit button or hit the submit button. So system should enter or navigate to the inbox, or it should allow the user to access the inbox. So that will be your expected result. System generates the inbox. So system is so user should be able to see the, or user is seeing the inbox, something like that. So generates, I don't think it's the correct word to use there. So just update your sentence. That is sufficient. Other than that, everything is good. I mean, anyway, it's a just example. We will be writing so many test cases, and going forward, I don't come to each and every sheet. I will show in one sheet itself, so that you will see, or you will be able to write more and more test cases. If I come to each and every sheet, it will take a lot of time. So Vajita, so enter username, enter password, click on sign in button. The system should be able to accept the inputs. The system is accepting the inputs. No. So what is the expected result after entering this information? Username, password, and click on login button. System should allow the user to see the inbox, or system should display the inbox. So that could be the expected result. If you can write like that, that will be good. But fine. Yeah, even this can be considered as the input. But going forward, I will be showing you the clear requirements. Then you will get a clear idea. But as of now, that is good. Convert. Enter your email address in the username. It's not a bar. It's a text field. So you should write it in the text. Enter email address in the username field. So you can write like that instead of using the term called bar. So click on submit and complete the step 1, step 2. Okay. So user should be able to log into their email only if you enter correct login and password information. Okay. So user was able to log in and reach their inbox. Yes, Convert. This is good. Raj, click on username, enter your username field. So directly you can write instead of clicking. So enter your username field in the sense itself. So user will click there and then he will enter the username. So you need not to write two things in that particular step. So try to make it little short. So click on password field and enter the password. Click on enter button. User should be able to see the Gmail. So why did you fail this?
The result is like he could not access to the Gmail, so I just make it like different, like fail test. So
okay.
So I give the result as it fail.
Yeah, you're trying to write the negative scenario. So Sonia, I'm not able to see all the steps in your sheet. So try to complete it, then maybe I'll come back later. So Rajesh, I'm in your sheet. Enter username, enter valid password, click on sign button. The home page of the Gmail account should be displayed. The user should be able to access an account. The home page opens and user was able to access an account. Okay, yeah, this is good. Saima, click on username tab. It's not tab, it's a username field. Yeah, so just update that. So click the password field and enter the correct password. Click on sign in button. Entered information will accepted by the system and user will be able to see the Gmail inbox. Yes, this is good. So
Could you
Sabina,
come back to my page? Cause
who is that?
Sonia.
Yeah. Is this your sheet?
No.
Soumya, right?
Sonia, Sonia.
Sonia. Okay, Sonia.
Yeah.
This is my
Huh.
sheet. Okay.
So I'm not able to see anything here.
I don't know why, because I put in everything. After you told me the all plus enter.
So do
I
one
don't
thing,
see
just
why.
close that sheet and reopen once again. Maybe it will
And
reflect here.
reopen. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So Sabina, I'm in your sheet now. Enter username, enter password, click on sign in. Should sign in and open. What is this? So maybe this statement you just update a little bit. So user should be able to view his inbox or user should be able to see the inbox. Something like that. That will be better. Sign in page is open, signed in and emails open. Okay. So maybe that sentences we have to change a little bit. So going forward with other examples, you will be able to understand and you can write it. So for now, this is okay. So any other sheet do I need to review?
Hi, Aditya. Can you go back to sheet 2 for Trupti?
Yes. So enter valid username, enter correct password, click on sign button. User should be able to log into the application with right credentials and the inbox should be visible. The user was able to log in and yeah, this is good. Anyway, it is just
Sheet 2
sample.
for Nemo.
Sheet 2 Nemo. Okay. So here, Nemo, you have to write all these steps in different lines. So for that, you have to use Alt plus Enter key. So whenever you press Alt plus Enter, you will be able to see in the second line like this. So welcome page on the login screen should be visible. What is this password accepted?
Password accepted, yeah.
So you can write
So
like, so directly you can write like expected result. After entering the correct username and correct password, you should be able to log into the application. So that's what your expected result is. Again, you need not to mention the same thing in
Actual results.
Yeah, in expected result. So
Hi, Aditya, did you see my sheet, Kailash Mishra?
I'll come to that. So someone has requested Avinash. Avinash, which sheet is it? Here it is. So enter a valid username, enter valid password, click on sign button. The Gmail inbox screen should be visible with valid credentials. Gmail. Yes, this is good. So Avinash Mishra.
Could you
Kailash
come?
Mishra.
Yeah, sorry. So
This is
Kailash.
Sonia. Could you come back to my page?
Yes, 1 second, please. So in which sheet it is, Kailash?
That is 3.
That is 3. KC Mishra. Okay. So enter username, enter password. So here I have also mentioned like valid credentials. So in the statement itself, if you can mention enter valid username, enter valid password, and then click on sign button. So inbox window should be popped up, or it should be open. So it is not going to pop up, right? So pop-up means a small window will come and it should going to show that information. So you can write like inbox should be open. So inbox is popped up, pass. Okay, yeah.
Thank
So
you.
these two things you just update.
Thank you.
Yes. So still I'm not able to see anything here.
Why? I don't know why you keep doing that because I put it in. I don't know why it's not
Are you
showing
writing
me.
in the same cell, or I mean, I don't know where you are writing it.
I don't know. Maybe I need to take. Okay. Check to see.
Now I'm able to see. It's visible now. So enter correct username,
Okay.
enter correct password, click on sign button. Should be able to access inbox. Inbox is accessible, so that's the reason. Passed. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay. So good. So everyone is able to write at least one sample test case today. So tomorrow onwards we will write more, and also we will discuss more about different types of techniques to write the test cases. And yeah, as I said, I don't come to each and every sheet. In one sheet I will explain. So tomorrow onwards you have to see that sheet, and you have to until unless there is a critical question from your side. Because if I come to each and every sheet, you will not be able to understand all the techniques. The time is not sufficient. So that is the only thing. But if it is required, definitely I'll come to 1 or 2 sheets, not every sheet. Yes, Sana.
Aditya?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So when we were discussing how detailed the test cases should be in the test case document, you said it should be as explanatory that the tester should not have to go to someone and ask a question, right? So when like here we are only saying enter correct username, enter correct password, but we are not writing what's the correct username, what is the correct password. So when we are actually in real time making a document, are we going to put in, for example, an external user cannot log in as external user. So are we going to write that external username and then that password for that username?
Correct.
Or
so we will be
we are
writing everything as part of test data. So we'll put one more section, and what is that correct username and what is that correct password, that also we will be documenting there itself. So as
okay.
it is
So
an example, I didn't show everything. To just give an
Mhm.
idea or feel about the test case, I have given the simple requirement here. So going forward, we will see what kind of test data we should enter for that particular test case.
Okay, so between test step and expected result, there would be another column that would be test data.
Yeah, that you can add one more column, or in the test step itself, you can write it.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Got a question for you, man. Is tomorrow's class gonna be the slowed pace, or is it gonna be a little bit more faster?
Sorry, do you want me to do it little faster?
Yeah, I mean, is it gonna be tomorrow's class a little faster, less fast paced, or is it gonna be like the same pace we had today?
No, it will be little faster because today everyone has so many questions. So that's the reason I am giving the instructions now itself. So tomorrow onwards, I am not going to review every sheet. So I will be reviewing 1 or 2 sheets, or I will be showing the test case in my sheet so that everyone can understand, so that we can have more test cases coverage. So maybe
Okay,
after
perfect.
every half an hour or 15 minutes, I'll give a small gap to answer every question.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Hey,
Yeah,
this is
hi
Sonia.
Aditya.
Yes, Soumya, please.
Yeah, this is Sonia. Please remember to send me the pre-recorded for the 1 hour that I missed.
Sure, I'll do that. 1 second, please,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Hello?
Please tell me.
Yeah, can you also send me the recorded link, please?
Yeah, it will take some time, but definitely I'll send it to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hello,
Are
Aditya,
we?
can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Aditya, I
Are we?
just wanted to know. Okay. Hi. Okay, can you hear me, Aditya?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, it's audible.
Yeah, Aditya, I wanted to ask, like, are we doing any ALM or QC? I mean, will you be showing us there in
Yes,
any of the
so but
classes or?
not now. So there is a separate session scheduled for QC. So that time, all those topics will be covered. So how to prepare the test cases, how to
Okay,
give the
so
requirements.
it's not in the BA QA class.
No,
I mean,
no.
in
So
not
again, that
in
is a separate
the.
session for both BA and QS. So that time it will be covered. It's an exclusive session. So the tool
Okay,
will be explained
okay, okay,
separately.
okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Someone else was also asking question. Who is that?
Are we good to go, or are we going to learn anything else?
Yes. So whoever has done, you can leave for the day. So tomorrow we'll meet at same time and we'll continue with the remaining test cases.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Thank you all and meet you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.